Hey Divines, we are back. Today I'm coming to you guys with a video on watercoloring. I know you guys see a lot of videos already on watercoloring. However, I have a few tips for you guys, and then I also just have a few things you guys should know when watercoloring that I feel like a lot of people do not let you know. So we're working with a 32-inch blonde wig. The client brought this herself from Amazon. I will put the link below just in case you guys are interested. We're going to be working with Royal Navy Blue, and we also are going to be using another color. I'm gonna wait to let y'all see what color I'm talking about. So she's going for a certain look. I might insert it here so you guys can see the look that she's going for. And this color, as you guys are going to see, did not come out as dark as she wanted it. So I went ahead and did a few things to go ahead and make sure that we got that color right. Okay, so first of all, you do not want to use all of your color at one time. So I started with just one bottle, because if you oversaturate and put too much color into the water, that is how you get the lace to end up being tinted or colored as well. So that's the first tip that I want to let you guys know. Move in portions and sections, as you guys see me doing here. I'm splitting in half, and do not use all of your color at the same time. Also, you want to make sure you have a good amount of water, because if you don't have a good amount of water, that will also cause your water to be too saturated at a time to where your lace will turn colors. So I'm just going to start with the back section. As you guys see, before I actually just dipped the whole thing in, I dipped the tips in to see what I was working with color wise, because you want to make sure that it's at least close or on point. Sometimes you get a color, y'all know, if y'all people color hair, whoever color hair, color your own hair, sometimes you get a color, you know, you see the little color tester, and it don't be what it was supposed to be given. It don't be given. So after coloring the back, I went in and added in a second bottle so I can start coloring the front portion of the hair. During this time, I'm going to take my time and make sure that the water is not too potent. How I do it is just like, basically, I just take a little piece of the lace in the front, dip it in the water, and see if the color holds. Now, it might look like the color is going to hold, but if you put the right amount of water and you make sure the water's not too potent, it will not stick. As you guys can see there, the lace is still clear. Another thing I want to tell you guys, it's kind of a pro, but at the same time a con, is that when you have a certain type of lace, like this lace has more of a thicker, rougher, transparent lace, that actually is beneficial to you when you're coloring your hair. For some reason, the color doesn't like to stick to lace that's like thicker or like on a rough side. Y'all know what type of lace I'm talking about. But if you got that HD or that really thin lace, the color sticks more. So that's why you have to be careful and make sure that you put enough water in there and not too much color at one time. Okay, so I want to let you guys in on a little secret. You remember I was telling you guys that it was not as dark as she wanted it to be? We went ahead and added some jet black in here. Now, this is where making sure your water or your color is not too potent matters as well. So I went ahead and added some jet black. I only added about a third of the bottle at a time, because I didn't want that black to really penetrate and actually turn her wig too black or make it too dark. So I went ahead and added in some black. You guys see I'm testing it right there to see before putting it all the way in, because once you go back, you can't go back. Okay, so I went ahead and added in some of that black and then dipped her wig in it. And then after the wig took in the color, I tested it to see if I need to add in some more black, which I did. Added in some more black because we wanted it to be a little bit darker than what it was. Now, again, this is the most important part that I tell people. Take your time when you're watercoloring. It's literally an art, coloring hair or just doing hair in general. But watercoloring is a whole different type of art to this, because you can change the color. You can, alter the colors and everything. You just have to make sure that you rather go lighter starting out than going darker. Better safe than sorry. So I'm adding in some more black because it was not as dark as I needed it to be. And I went ahead and dipped the wig again in the color. So again, when you're in the stores and you're looking for a certain color, say you're looking for like a maroon red, and you see a color that's close to it, but maybe it's just a little bit lighter, it is okay. Go ahead and get you maybe an extra bottle of a darker shade that's also that color, but just a darker version of that color, and do the same thing that I'm doing here, but with the color instead of black. For your cool tones, I feel like black works, but I don't recommend it for warmer tones. I feel like it changes the color. So go ahead and just get a color that's the same color as the one that you're using, but just darker. So maybe you want like a red hot, but then you see a red that's a little darker. It's the same color, but just a little bit darker. Get that color and add it in little by little. Okay, another thing that I want to touch on, this goes back to making sure your water is not too potent, is bleeding, color bleeding. So this is why it's also important to make sure you don't put too much color at one time or too much color and not enough water, because if you do that, then the hair is going to bleed. When you put that perfect amount of water and not too much color at once at a time, or, you know, too much at a time, and make sure your water is at a hot temperature, this is how you avoid bleeding. All right, y'all. Next step, last step, is adding a clear coat. This also makes sure, or I should say, this also guarantees that your hair doesn't bleed as fast or that the color doesn't just run through. Add a clear coat to your wig, and at the same time, this is also going to give your hair that shine, that luster. If you're dealing with a dry wig or a wig that sheds a lot, it acts as a natural conditioner. Just give your wig its fullest potential. Add that clear coat, y'all. It makes a difference. It goes a long way. The last thing that I want to touch on is your knots getting colored when you're watercoloring. As you guys can see here, you can see the knots. I have methods and ways around that when I'm doing installs to where you don't have to worry about that. But if you don't have any methods, the thing that I want to let you guys know is you could just go ahead and take you some color removal and add it to some conditioner and apply it to your lace as if you're going to bleach your knots. Make it pretty thick and just spray some holding spray onto your wig on the top so that you don't color or take the color out of your wig. And this is the results, y'all. As you can see, it's melted. Them knots is not giving us no problem. If you guys want a more detailed video on how to avoid coloring your knots or just fixing it, let me know. Stay divine.